got reports of gunfire.
Now at 7 o'clock, the latest on the mass shooting in New York City. We're going to have a look at the suspect, plus new details about what or who may have been his target. Plus,
there's no legal or scientific reason to do what they're doing.
The Salem city leader is declaring a state of emergency over its drinking water supply, while some critics say it's an overreach by environmental interests.
have you ever heard of this one? I have not, but apparently some people on social media are suggesting that drinking too much cold water on a hot day can make you pass out.
What?
Have you heard of this before?
No.
Yep, that's what's going around on social media. We're going to dive into this to see if there's any truth behind this idea as we kick off the 7 o'clock hour of Sunrise right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We are streaming, gang. Streaming on KGW Plus, and we're doing it with Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis on board as well.
Woo!
So, Rod.
A little zip the stream.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah. All right.
Weather, please.
We have a beautiful day out there once again. It's going to be getting hot this afternoon, though. So if that's not your thing, get your outdoor activities in this morning. There's our live shot over our state capitol. It's also sunny at the beach again today. 60 in Salem, and let's see what Portland's up to right now. Looking at the Willamette River from our Rose City camera, 61 degrees. I have a 77 at noon, and then up to 92 degrees at 5 o'clock this afternoon. We're still looking at thunderstorms east of the Cascades today. There is a red flag warning up for a good chunk of our state. More on that in my complete forecast. Here's Chris.
Hot one out there today. All right, Rod, the drive just now warming up a bit inbound on the Sunset. This is out near Murray Boulevard, kind of puttering along a little bit there. You're looking at about 25 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. One of our other slow spots, the Banfield. This is not unusual, right? We're slow coming out around Rocky Butte and towards 82nd Avenue, where traffic sensors show about 25 miles an hour rounding the curve there towards 82nd. And I-5 from Clark County, of course, slow and steady from SR 500. Here's the live look right now at the Interstate Bridge. So right now, your commute to get you in from the west side, as we mentioned, actually that's better than what we were looking at a few minutes ago. 20 minutes from Hillsborough, and the I-5 drive through North Portland again, slow and steady as well. Hey, more of this coming up in just a bit, but US 101 closed. The Youngs Bay Bridge, the new Youngs Bay Bridge, closed today from 10 until 2 as ODOT does some bridge maintenance. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. In Salem, city councilors are taking emergency action to ensure they have enough drinking water.
Yes, councilors are trying to get ahead of the plan to help salmon migration in the area, which is expected to have a big impact on Salem's primary water source. Here's Catherine Koch with more.
Absent Councilor Varney.
Aye.
Mayor Julie Hoy.
Aye. Motion passes.
In Salem, city council members declared an emergency Monday night for its drinking water system. It comes down to a massive drawdown planned for the Detroit Lake Reservoir in the fall of 2026. According to the city, that will stir up sediment built up behind the Detroit Dam, which could clog the Salem treatment plant's filtration systems.
Conditions that are coming for us that we need to get ready for.
The Army Corps of Engineers needs to lower the lake to a level not seen since the dam was first built over 70 years ago. The National Marine Fisheries Service ordered the deep drawdown to try to improve migration for endangered salmon.
There's no legal or scientific reason to do what they're doing.
Some critics of the drawdown suggest it stems from overreach by environmental interests.
We have to handle this in a common sense manner. I am for the tribes and I am for the fish, but only when they will do the full research.
As plans for the deep drawdown move forward, the city is focused on how to mitigate the muddying impact it could have on Salem's primary source of drinking water.
We need to take some actions immediately, and really that is to expand our alternate supply sources.
Declaring the emergency will allow the city to fortify its water treatment system and add several wells to the tune of around $8 million. Salem's current alternative water sources include groundwater wells near the treatment plant and emergency supplies from Kaiser.
There's also an aquifer storage and recovery system here beneath Woodmansee Park in South Salem. Those three sources combined can provide 22 million gallons of water a day. But Salem's 200,000 ratepayers use between 24 and 25 million gallons a day.
Even with the wells, if we can get 1.5 million gallons per well out of it, that margin is still really really narrow, and if any one of those things goes, it could really be catastrophic for us.
Other cities' water supplies are also impacted by the drawdown. In June, the mayor of Staten and council president sent a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers asking them to reconsider the drawdown. And last year, the cities of Sweet Home and Lebanon filed a lawsuit against the Army Corps of Engineers over a similar drawdown of the Green Peter Reservoir in 2023. They claim the project caused increased turbidity on the South Santiam River and damaged both cities' water treatment systems. The impact of this drawdown remains to be seen.
There is some hope that the North Santiam drawdown will be different. Every river is different.
In Salem, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Meantime, city officials in Newport are asking residents to conserve water because of drought conditions. They're suggesting people limit watering their lawns and plants, and if you have to water, do it when it's cooler outside, either early in the morning or evening. Other ways that you can help include reducing your shower time or waiting until you have full loads before doing the laundry or running the dishwasher.
All right, at the state level here, Governor Kotek signed several housing-related bills into law that allow more middle housing, talking things like townhomes and duplexes in cities and unincorporated areas of the state. These bills also approve the state to pre-approve housing plans and provide financial assistance to housing projects across Oregon. The governor also wants to work with local governments to streamline the building permit process.
We want more people to own their homes and live in places they can afford. And the bills I've signed today are going to provide more guarantees that we can get there, because we're just going to make it easier to build, and that will lower the price.
So these are hardworking folks who are excited to have a place to plant roots, to not have to move around chasing rents. These are folks who might be a nurse's assistant, for example, or a teacher's aide, or someone who does housekeeping at hotels who can afford home ownership, which is a big deal today.
Governor Kotek has a pretty lofty goal here. She says she wants to create 36,000 new homes each year. Only 14,000 building permits were issued last year, and most of those were for single-family homes.
Head over to Rod Hill now for a look at weather, but first we're going to take a look at this sky cam because it is beautiful out there. So we're just going to appreciate the Pacific Northwest for a second.
Salem Tasting Room sky cam there, Rod, in Sherwood. What kind of day are we talking about here?
Just like yesterday, except we're going to turn it up at least 5 degrees in most spots. Yesterday was mid-80s, so some quick math means we're going to be right around 90 out there this afternoon. Our big story across the region continues to be scattered thunderstorms that will again develop this afternoon, areas east of the Cascades, and the Weather Service has a red flag warning up for high fire danger, including a good chunk of central Oregon and out east. And this is the area most likely to see scattered storms. And again, the concern, lightning producing more fire starts, which did happen yesterday with some of the thunderstorm activity. Now, the coast will be back up to about 70 degrees like yesterday, and just a beautiful sunny start to the day. There's Chinook Winds Casino Resort, Lincoln City, 48 degrees. Here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club out in Loa. Not much wind today, once again. We're at 61. Again, really comfortable this morning to be out working or playing, getting hot this afternoon. Here's downtown, looking at the south waterfront and the Tilcomb crossing from the Portland Spirit Landing. We have light winds, obviously mainly clear skies. Temperature in downtown Portland right now is 61. Vancouver sharing that temperature, also 61 down in Wilsonville. A lot of you still in the 50s out the door, including 55 out in Dallas at this hour. Our weather map today, that scattered storm threat once again this afternoon into evening, central and eastern areas. Sun River, for example, could get a thunderstorm at 81. Here are the 90s from Portland down to Eugene, and 60s to about 70 degrees at the coast. Could have back-to-back 90s again. 92 today, maybe 91 tomorrow. Still tracking at least a chance that some showers or thunderstorms migrate over the Cascades into the valley tomorrow overnight into Thursday. Behind that, we have a very comfortable weekend to finish the week. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Hey, Rod, thanks for that. Let's get you back to Clatsop County. Again, a reminder that the new Youngs Bay Bridge, US 101, will be closing from 10 to 2 today as ODOT does some bridge deck maintenance, putting some sealant down. So the detour to get around that is US 101B. the old Youngs Bay Bridge, and that'll add an extra mile or two to your commute, but just be aware of that. Also, I mentioned this a few minutes ago, the Hawthorne Bridge later this week, actually tomorrow and Thursday, there will be intermittent directional closures for bridge maintenance. Again, that's Wednesday and Thursday. So if the Hawthorne Bridge is part of your commute, just know that coming up as we go to Wednesday and Thursday. All right, back to the commute right now. Inbound Sunset, slow and go coming in from Murray Boulevard. At last check, not bad, but a little slow, 20 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. That's our biggest slow spot of the morning, and that's predictable, right? For this hour of a Tuesday morning commute, right now we're looking at just shy of 20 to get you in from Main Street south to the Fremont Bridge. Drew, China?
All right, sounds good, Chris. Top national story this morning, we're learning more about the gunman who opened fire inside a New York City high-rise yesterday, killing 4 people, including a police officer, before taking his own life. The surveillance image right here on the screen behind China shows that suspect entering the building with a rifle.
And according to CNN, a note found in his pocket blamed football for giving him CTE, which is a degenerative brain disease. The note also read, quote, "You can't go against the NFL. They'll squash you." Amy Keeley has the details.
We have got report of gunfire.
Pure evil came to the heart of our city.
A New York City police officer and at least 3 other victims are dead after a shooting in a Manhattan office building yesterday evening. The police commissioner says 36-year-old fallen officer Didarul Islam was there working security.
Officer Islam was married with 2 young boys, and his wife is pregnant with their 3rd child.
He's a true blue New Yorker, not only in the uniform he wore, but in his spirit and energy of loving this city.
The Park Avenue high-rise houses the offices of the NFL. It says one of its employees was seriously injured in the attack. An official with knowledge of the investigation says the suspect had a grievance with the Football League. Officials say he walked into the building carrying an M4 assault rifle. They say he opened fire in the lobby and on the 33rd floor and later died of an apparently self-inflicted wound.
He wasn't there looking to kill people at random. He could have done that right on the streets of Midtown Manhattan with that rifle and taken a lot more lives.
Police identified the suspect as a 27-year-old from Las Vegas with a mental health history. They say he had a concealed carry license and no significant criminal record. Multiple agencies are investigating.
This is a guy who went into that building intending to kill someone, and probably knowing he was not going to come out alive.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We also want to remind you that if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health issues, help is available 24/7. You can call or text that 3-digit number on your screen, 988. It's the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which provides confidential support and crisis resources. Again, simply call or text 988.
Your time now is 7:12, and still to come on Sunrise. Can drinking cold water on a hot, sunny day make you pass out? That's what people on social media are claiming, but is it true? We verify. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
When it gets hot outside, you probably reach for a cold glass of water, but some social media posts claim drinking too much cold water in hot weather could make you pass out. But is that true? Megan Bragg verifies.
These are just some posts on Facebook that claim drinking cold water when it's hot outside can make you pass out. So let's verify.
Our sources, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson, and the University of Connecticut's Corey Stringer Institute.
It's exactly that, a myth. We certainly recommend when you feel overheated or you're showing signs or symptoms of heat exhaustion, we definitely recommend cooling off as fast as you can.
The University of Connecticut's Corey Stringer Institute says passing out usually comes from heat illness, not the cold water. In fact, Dr. Robinson says it's important to cool your body down by drinking cold water if you are in hot temperatures.
That helps to regulate the body temperature, helps to cool you off. And so we definitely recommend drinking cool water if you're overheated.
During these hot temperatures, the CDC recommends people drink more water than normal, limit outdoor activity, and find a way to cool down, like getting in some air conditioning or a pool. So we can verify that no, drinking cold water when it's hot outside will not make you pass out. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Now what about pink lemonade versus yellow lemonade? On a hot day, China Green, I ask you.
What the heck is the difference, by the way?
Pink lemonade?
Yeah, like is there a difference to the taste?
Yeah, one's pink and one's yellow.
No, there's a difference in
grief,
color.
right? No.
Is one different than the other?
They do taste different.
Okay.
Well, they do taste
Yeah,
different.
for sure. For sure.
Which is better, in your opinion?
I like the old school yellow lemonade.
She's yellow.
Really?
I'm yeller.
I feel fancy when I can't believe we're talking about this, but I'm enjoying it. I feel fancy when I have pink lemonade because I think when I was a kid, we mostly had yellow. So when my mom would put out the pink lemonade, it was like, wow.
Rod, if you are at a steakhouse and you order
cool.
pink lemonade, I'm sure you'll get some looks.
Thank you, China.
He's got some pink on his green screen there.
I do. Thank you,
that.
Mr. Carney,
Yes.
for that transition.
You're
to
welcome.
Get us out of this pink lemonade chat. All right. Fire weather warning, red flag warning, same thing. This is the area with highest threat of thunderstorm activity developing this afternoon into this evening. We did have fire starts yesterday. So far, according to the information in our newsroom, nothing has overly gotten out of hand or been alarming, but this will be watched very carefully again for the potential of more fire starts. Notice the fire red flag warning, not the gorge, not anything here on the west side of our state. Both areas will be dry today. The National Weather Service, again, not the gorge, not I-5 corridor, but pretty much everybody else in the light green shade. Thunderstorm outlook today for potential development. All right, here's the way Futurecast shows it. 5 o'clock this afternoon. Not a whole lot has changed. We're looking at these storms developing in the afternoon. They move south to north during the evening, and then they fall apart, and then we see redevelopment the very next day. So this is 5 o'clock this afternoon. We're looking here. Everything falls apart. Here's tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday. Now, again, this was the case yesterday. The models like the storms Wednesday developing closer to the Cascades and more back to the west. So here's a band that has the potential, certainly tomorrow evening, to migrate into maybe Eugene or areas of the South Willamette Valley. So we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, the models that came out at noon yesterday during the news, we had a cluster right here where my fist is that looked like it was going to hold together and maybe bring a thunderstorm threat into Portland Thursday morning. Now, the updated model says, well, we get clouds and maybe a rain chance, but no thunder. The point is, we're not certain. We're not certain if any of this makes it over the Cascades, but if we're going to get some rain here in Portland, Salem, or Vancouver, the chance is still Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning, so we'll see what we get. This will be an all dry day in the gorge, as I mentioned. Here's the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dow, 69 degrees. Hottest weather model gives you folks a high today of 101. Now, winds in the gorge are mainly light this morning, west-northwest at 7, and light winds are expected again today. Hood River, by the way, good morning to you. Mid-90s expected for you. Here's the Pioneer Park building. We've got one of the flags blown and a little bit of a breeze in downtown Portland up on top of one of the buildings. Brian Matthews, where are we looking? Or Byron, I have no idea which direction. That looks like Mount St. Helens right there. So I guess we're staring off to the north. I'd get my bearings. All right, 61 is our temperature outside. There's 52 in Newport. We're already screaming for our directors to tell us what's going on. 60 in Salem and 62 out in Baker City, all dry across our 2 states at this hour. Big story again here in the valley, the rising numbers. This shows Salem at 93, also around 90 or slightly above in Southwest Washington, including 92 in Vancouver. Portland at least 90, maybe 92, maybe 90, 91 tomorrow. Then that rain chance Wednesday overnight into Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're back to really comfortable weather. All right, here is Mr. McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take you to Clark County. Well, let me go back. A little trigger happy there. I-5 southbound really starting to plug up at the Interstate Bridge. Again, normal stuff, just to let you know we've always got eyes on it. And right now we're up to 20 minutes to get you in from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge. New trouble spot now popping up down near PCC Sylvania, getting over, northbound on I-5, basically from Haines up towards Breeze Hill and Capitol Highway. I don't have eyes on this at this moment, but there certainly are some delays now starting to show up with this crash, which appears to be just south of Capitol Highway. I-5 northbound starting to plug up a little bit there. That said, your total drive in from Wilsonville, not too bad just yet, averaging about 25 minutes northbound from the Boone Bridge to the Markham Bridge.
Thank you, Chris. President Trump teeing up new trade deals while also teeing off at this new golf course in Scotland. We're going to have the latest on the president from overseas and other national headlines coming up when Sunrise continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Trump says he plans to shorten the 50-day deadline he gave Russia to end its war with Ukraine. The president is also promising more support in Gaza. NBC's Alice Barr has more on all of this for us from Washington, D.C.
President Trump this morning debuting a new golf course at one of his Scotland resorts, a detour into private business after talking trade with UK and European leaders, including a new EU agreement.
Thank you very much.
Ahead of a Friday deadline when higher tariffs kick in for countries that haven't reached a deal, the president saying they'll face a global baseline tariff.
It'll be somewhere in the 15 to 20% range.
While meeting with allies, the president also looking to foreign wars, promising to shorten his 50-day deadline for Russian President Vladimir Putin to end his war in Ukraine.
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today. There's no reason in waiting.
President Trump threatening new sanctions and secondary tariffs on Russia's trade partners, again voicing frustration with Putin.
Every time I think it's going to end, he kills people.
While also breaking with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over his assessment that there's no starvation in Gaza.
Some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And you can't fake that.
President Trump promising more U.S. support to establish desperately needed food centers with fewer restrictions amid global outcry over the extreme lack of access to food and rising deaths from malnutrition. Israel began allowing airdrops and limited pauses in fighting for aid delivery. But humanitarian groups warn the trickle of aid entering Gaza is not enough to stave off famine. A senior White House official tells NBC News that President Trump was disturbed and troubled by the images he's seen of starving children in Gaza, motivating him to step up U.S. support. As the world's leading body on hunger said today that the worst case scenario of famine is unfolding in the Gaza Strip. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national headlines with your morning rush. While the manhunt continues for a suspect in the double homicide of 2 Arkansas parents this past weekend, police released a sketch of a man who was seen in the same park where those killings happened. Here's what that sketch looks like. Investigators also say the suspect in this homicide case likely suffered an injury while attacking the couple. They were hiking with their 2 young daughters at the time. Both children, though, were not hurt. At least 7 people were hurt in Florida when a small plane crashed into a car yesterday. The single-engine plane ended up on a sidewalk after clipping the top of that passing car. 2 people were on board the plane, both rushed to a trauma center. 5 people were inside the car, and they were all taken to a local hospital. PayPal is diving deeper into the crypto craze. Its new service called Pay with Crypto will let businesses accept payments in more than 100 different cryptocurrencies. PayPal says the system will offer lower fees than typical credit card transactions. There's a beta version that's expected to come out here in the coming weeks with a full rollout later this year. And that's a look at your morning rush.
As I'm on the phone with 911, his head goes back down and never resurfaced.
Coming up in our next half hour of Sunrise, new details about the man who drowned in the Columbia River this past weekend, what witnesses say they saw just before the drowning happened.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on your Tuesday morning drive, and the lineup in Clark County starts right there. That's I-5 at Main Street, and from there it is slow and go the rest of the way down to the Interstate Bridge, and that traffic now starting to spill over, of course, into Oregon. We're 21 minutes in building to get you from Main Street south to I-405. South side of town, we had an earlier crash on Breeze Hill, northbound I-5 near Capitol Highway. It looks like that's out of the way. Photojournalist Chad Dehart has gotten just past that scene, though, and you can see the northbound commute puttering along there, as is the inbound Banfield. This is normal stuff for this hour of a Tuesday morning drive. Right now, 84 westbound is 26 minutes to get you in from Troutdale. Rod?
All right, Chris, thank you. Everybody dealing with the clear skies for the most part, coast and valley this morning, and also up over the Cascades and out into the gorge. Here's our live Salem sky camera. 60 degrees is the number. Here's our Rose City camera looking across the Willamette. 61 is the temperature. Big story today, the rising temperatures as our warm-up continues. 77 to noon. Could get all the way up to about 92, and this could be the first of a back-to-backer as well. 91 tomorrow, and don't forget that rain chance tomorrow night.
Gentlemen, start your sauces.
Ooh, is that hot? Spicy?
We're talking hot wings.
Hot wings.
Today is National Chicken Wing Day.
Really?
So back in 1977, oh yeah, this is true stuff. Back in 1977, the mayor of Buffalo, New York, started this holiday in honor of his city's namesake dish. Celebrating should be pretty easy this year. A lot of chains, including Wingstop, Buffalo Wild Wings, a bunch of them, they're offering deals and promotions for National Chicken Wing Day. I'd like to give some love to some local operations, but yes.
Well, I feel kind of like an idiot because I didn't realize this, but there is a connection to the city of Buffalo. I didn't know this. I really didn't.
No, you're telling me right now is the
chicken wings.
Right now is the moment you
is to Buffalo, the city.
This is the first time you realize that Buffalo wings have to do with the city of Buffalo, New York?
I said I feel like an idiot. Yes.
I was very disappointed to hear there's no bison in them.
Yes, thank you.
There's that too.
I was going to shout out some local wing places, but I can't believe that you didn't realize that's why they're called Buffalo. What'd you think it was a reference to?
I don't know what those people eat up there in New York. I've never been to Buffalo. I have no idea what they're eating.
Shout out to Fire on the Mountain.
Yeah, Fire on the Mountain's a big one.
Great.
Yes, I've been there.
A smaller place that doesn't get as much attention. We went to all the fires on the mountain. My kids love wings, but eventually none of them are near our house. I'm like, guys, we have to find a different place. These are too far. So we go to Buffalo Gap down on Macadam Avenue, kind of along the south waterfront area.
Yeah.
Buffalo Gap Saloon, if you're familiar with it, has fantastic wings.
Yeah, I've been in there. Very nice.
Yeah. Did you have the wings?
I don't remember.
They're from Buffalo, New York.
I had a burger, actually.
All right, Rodney, local weather.
All right, let's get you going. You think I'm the only one on the planet that didn't make that connection?
I don't think people take usually 60 years of their life to figure that out. Honestly.
I am pacing myself. Here's our Schnuckwitz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Beautiful morning underway there, 50 degrees. Coast could get up to 70 again today. Here in the valley, another beautiful sunny start, 61. We have a problem, and the problem is temperatures are going to get a little out of hand this afternoon. Yesterday we stopped in the mid-80s. Today 77 at noon, and we'll get all the way up to about 92 at 5 o'clock. Record today I think is 106, by the way. Here's Chris.
All right, it's hot, but not that hot. Go along with your Buffalo wings this morning. I-5 southbound lining up right now at Main Street, so 3 miles of stop-and-go action from here down to the Interstate Bridge, and this is normal for this hour of a Tuesday morning commute. As mentioned, that drive is upticking here minute by minute. We're up to 22 minutes in building now to get you from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge. So a little slow and go there. We'll switch gears real quick. Door number 3 takes us to photojournalist Chad Dehart. He is live northbound in the Twilliger curves, and the drivers are obviously battling the sun that is right in their face there. So that's adding to some of the local slowing. And the inbound I-84 commute, let's take you there. Door number 4 should take us out to the Gateway District. Yeah, that is puttering along as well. Right now, your trip in from Troutdale is up to about 26 minutes. And the drive in from the west side, also kind of staring at that sunrise over the Sylvan Hill, we're approaching 30 minutes to get you in from Hillsborough. Guys.
All right, thank you, Chris. Leading off our news headlines here at 7:30, the concerns about safety around Multnomah County Central Library in downtown Portland after a deadly shooting outside the library earlier this month. County Commissioner Megan Moyer sent a letter to the mayor and police chief saying that more needs to be done to address the violence and drug use in that part of the city. Commissioner Moyer is calling for Portland police to patrol that area more frequently and provide monthly updates. Meanwhile, Portland Police Commander Brian Hughes says that right now the force is doing what they can.
Well, I just want to say that we are being a good partner, and the bike officers deploy there regularly, and we do maintain a regular presence at the library. But keep in mind, I have the entire downtown Central City core that I'm responsible for and competing priorities, right?
So Portland Police later sent a list of recommendations on what they thought the county could do to help out. That list includes replacing library security with members of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, installing metal detectors, removing the outside benches, and also eliminating outdoor Wi-Fi. Meanwhile, divers have recovered a body from the Columbia River that's believed to be a missing 52-year-old.
And while it was initially reported that he drowned trying to save a struggling child, Vancouver fire officials say that is not what happened. KGW's Salem Stevens walks us through the details.
As I'm on the phone with 911, his head goes back down and never resurfaced.
Taryn Elliott says on Sunday she and her family went to Winsler Park to watch the sunset. Instead, she became a witness to a drowning, calling 911.
We started hearing the commotion of somebody help, help. Somebody call 911, call 911. This can't be happening. This can't be happening.
The Vancouver Fire Department got that call just before 9 p.m., also getting assistance from the U.S. Coast Guard and other agencies to search for the 52-year-old man. But by 11 p.m., rescuers suspended the search.
We will come out and search for an appropriate amount of time. How long we stay out is going to vary on the water conditions, both where we're at, the speed of the water, and visibility.
It's really tough to suspend, and it's never a decision that's taken lightly.
VFD says that man got into the water to recover some property that was in deeper water. Family and witnesses telling me his partner saw it all happen.
She was screaming, "This is why we don't do water. This is why I don't do water."
Those enjoying the Columbia River Monday shocked at the news.
A little eerie now.
Yeah.
Now that we know like the full story.
It made me feel bad because like we're trying to have a good time and like we're like playing in the lake and they're like looking for someone who passed away.
Right away I was surprised because the water seems very calm here, and so as I've heard, it must be very deceptive that the current of this river is strong, and when you go too deep it'll pull you out.
Officials urging everyone to always wear a life jacket no matter what.
It might look still on the surface, but there's currents underneath that can be really strong and move you far, away from where you left the shore.
Vancouver Fire first reported that man was trying to save a child when he went into the river, but then they later clarified that he was trying to, quote, recover some property. They did not specify what exactly that was. In Vancouver, Salem Stevens, KGW News.
The man accused of crashing a stolen car and hitting two people in Portland over the weekend has pleaded not guilty. 28-year-old Amin Noor Mohammed is charged with dozens of counts, including assault, reckless driving, and DUI. Police say they tried to stop him Sunday afternoon near Northwest 9th and Burnside when they noticed the stolen car. They say Mohammed didn't stop and ended up crashing a few blocks away. They say it appears he lost control and hit two pedestrians. Prosecutors requested Mohammed be kept in jail while his case plays out. He has another hearing set for today.
Dozens of people are without a home after a fire at a senior care facility in Tigard. We covered the story yesterday morning as breaking news on the Sunrise Show. Firefighters were called out to the Avamere at Park Place Assisted Living Facility on Southwest Hemlock Street just after 6:30 yesterday morning. They say the fire started outside, then spread to the first floor. They worked fast to evacuate the building. Many of the people living there have limited mobility. Investigators say at least one improperly discarded cigarette butt caused this fire.
Yeah, we have several units that have been damaged quite a bit, and so they won't be able to return to some of those. And then we have lots of smoke and water damage to the facility.
Two people hurt during the evacuation, one of them taken to the hospital. Some people have been cleared to return to their units, but others are being set up with alternative housing.
The Vancouver Fire Department extinguished a brush fire that sparked in an area full of blackberries yesterday morning. Crews were able to put out the fire within about 10 minutes. The scene was then turned over to the Department of Natural Resources. No one was hurt.
Starting this Friday, the city is expanding the hours that you have to pay to park on Portland's Central East Side. So now you're going to have to pay for street parking between 8 in the morning and 10 at night, Monday through Saturday in that part of town. This, by the way, is in addition to the increased fees that started on July 1st. Transportation officials say the changes are meant to help increase parking turnover as demand for events, shopping, and dining grows. Pay-to-park hours will also expand in other districts of the city through December of this year. Downtown Portland is set to go up in September. All right, summer vacation time, of course, but while that's happening, some kids are still learning. Nearly 600 kids in Northeast Portland hitting the books right now. Over the last several weeks, they've been spending their days inside the classroom with a group called Elevate Oregon. It's a nonprofit that focuses on serving kids in high poverty areas. This is a camp where students from elementary school through high school can spend summer break focusing on everything from reading to math.
We had a project where we were going to decide which college we went to, and that helps mostly all of the students in my class for Elevate decide what they want to do in the future. And with the help of Elevate, I want to be a lawyer,
Yeah, Elevate Oregon has lots of success stories. They've seen former students become camp mentors, and they say one of their students has even worked their way up to becoming a manager within the program.
Your time now is 7:39, and head over Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Hey, good morning. Watching a thunderstorm chance again today, mainly east of the Cascades. I want to show you on the radar, we're already seeing a shower pop. This is north of Bend, Jefferson County. If it keeps going, it's going to be up around Mount Hood and perhaps moving into Hood River County. Right now, it's just a rain shower. Later today, we do expect scattered storms to come up across central and eastern areas of our state. Everything will be moving south to north. Red flag warnings are up for high fire danger because of potential lightning strikes leading to fire starts. So we're watching that. But here on the west side, just another sunny day. It's going to be getting hot, though, this afternoon. Here's the Salem tasting room camera looking out over the vineyard this morning. Early morning number still in the 50s, so that's comfortable, 57 degrees. There's the Oregon Garden Resort camera out in Silverton. Oregon Garden sits back here in the trees, so that's mainly clear, looking over that part of the valley and, of course, nearby Mount Angel. Right now, temperatures all clear up to Seattle, 62. Kelso's 56. We have clear skies at the coast, 54 in Astoria. And we have partly cloudy skies due to remnant clouds from thunderstorms that fell apart last night out across eastern Oregon. John Day's at 61. Again, you folks under the gun for more thunderstorm activity a little bit later today. Chase is our KGW Dog of the Day on this Tuesday. Use the email address, dogoftheday@kgw.com. Send us your dog's photo and name, and your dog will become our Dog of the Day. There's Chase this morning. All right, forecast map shows that thunderstorm threat, central and eastern areas, the sun at the coast. 90-degree weather returns from Portland southward to Eugene, and some hot spots in central Oregon. The Dalles 98, Pendleton 95. Some of the models shows the Dalles getting up to 101 today, by the way. 92 in Portland, near 90 again tomorrow, and then don't forget, at least a chance of some of the stormy action makes it over the Cascades into the valley at some point Wednesday overnight and the Thursday. So we'll see who gets the rain, if anybody. Comfortable weather starting Friday into the weekend. Here's Chris.
Thanks for that. We zero in on the west side commute right now. That's one of the slower drives. Getting in from Hillsborough now is approaching 30 minutes, puttering along out near Murray Boulevard. And then again, as you get inside of 217, and of course the driver's coming up the hill towards Sylvan, the sun's like right in your face, right? So sunglasses needed there for sure. All right, let's switch gears real quick. Door number 3. Oops, sorry, we lost that one. Door number 4. We'll switch gears, take you to the Banfield. I-84, of course, chugging along out through the Gateway District. And last but not least, your I-5 drive from Clark County. That's a busy one as well. 25 minutes gets you in from Main Street down to the Fremont Bridge. Speaking of bridges, in just about a half an hour or less, actually, from now, or an hour and a half from now, I should say, in Astoria, US 101, the Youngs Bay Bridge, the new Youngs Bay Bridge, will be closing for road maintenance. They're putting a new sealant on the bridge deck there. So 101B is the detour, and that'll take you a couple miles out of your way. And while we're on the bridge topic, let's talk about the Hawthorne Bridge. Tomorrow and Thursday, there will be intermittent directional closures on July 30th and 31st, once again for bridge maintenance. So if the Hawthorne is part of your daily commute, tomorrow and Thursday, probably best to plan another route. Guys?
Thank you, Chris. Still to come on
there
Sunrise.
Would be zero harvest of grapes this year. So complete loss of crop here.
From bottles ready to be shipped to grapes still on the vine, wineries in the gorge add up the losses from the Bourdogne fire. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
The U.S. Forest Service is responding to multiple reports of fires from thunderstorms over the Cascade Range. This is a time-lapse here of the smoke coming from the fire. The largest of them is the Piper Fire, burning about 3 miles northeast of the Skookum Creek campground in the Three Sisters Wilderness. The Forest Service reports that it's burned an estimated 20 acres, and visitors are asked to avoid the area. And fire officials in Central Oregon have confirmed 13 wildfires were sparked due to a recent storm. The largest of the acres or of the fires was only 2 acres, and additional resources are prepared to respond to those fires today.
Let's stay in Central Oregon for an update on the Burdoin fire. It's now 69% contained, and all level 3 evacuation orders are now downgraded to level 2, meaning that people can start to return to their homes. Local wineries, meanwhile, are feeling the impact of the Burdoin fire. A few of them have lost some of their vines, along with finished bottles of wine. KBW's Libby Dowsett went to the town of Lisle, where winery owners are dealing with the damage.
You can see some kegs and small stainless steel tanks.
Barrow Wine, named after the high barometric pressure and whipping winds at this winery, ended up playing a role in these buildings' demise.
We lost 4 buildings. The tractor shed had some vineyard stuff and a bunch of that type of farm equipment.
What was once a beautiful new winery, cellar, and farm storage area is now rubble.
It's really hard to see, but it also helps to see it in person, you know, to make it real.
The strong, dry winds that help vines grow strong here fueled the fire that turned Eric and Ashley Blossman's grapes to raisins. The Blossmans watching the fire move in via their surveillance cameras.
I could see the flames in the background, and I could see like the smoke building.
Just trying to be stable, you know, and rolling with it, and being more analytical, not emotional about it. But I was kind of a mess yesterday. I don't know why. You know.
Surprisingly, their house survived the fire. Eric turned on the sprinklers before they evacuated with their 2 children.
Like red wine over there, I could smell, and I could smell a lot of like white wine over here.
The wine did not make it.
It was probably around 1,300 cases of finished product, labeled everything.
And it's not just the Blossmans facing losses. The fire burned about an acre of grapes at Syncline Winery. The owner saying the smoke appears to have tainted everything.
There would be 0 harvest of grapes this year, so complete loss of crop here.
Just down the hill, Core Winery lost a pump house. But these winemakers recognize many in the community have lost so much more.
But it's a really raw time for the community. This is the biggest disaster that we've seen since we've been here.
Other wineries have been reaching out with offers of grapes for those affected by the fires. Syncline Winery says they may take people up on that offer. But as for those at Barrow Wine dealing with all of this, they don't know what their next step is. In Lisle, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Your time now is 7:48, and Rod, I know you have a few fire weather warnings to get to as well.
Sad, because those have been the 2 big fire stories we've covered the most, right? The one in Skamania County, then the fire earlier on the Oregon side of the Columbia River Gorge, where we've lost, I don't know what the final count was, but well over 50 homes. We have fire weather warning, also called a red flag warning today for potential thunderstorm activity in central and eastern areas of our state. Expected to stay dry up in the gorge, expected to stay dry on the west side of the Cascades today. Here's what the Futurecast model shows, 5 o'clock this afternoon. So some of these storms could get up into central Oregon. They're expected to move up to the north later today and then kind of fizzle out, but redevelop during the day tomorrow. Okay, this is fun. See the little dots? See them moving? They look like ants, kind of, right? That is one of the ski camps going on the Palmer Snowfield this morning. Our Thomas Schultz did a story on their summer ski program up at Timberline a couple weeks back, and can be quite busy up there this time of the year. That's the Palmer Snowfield up at 7,000 feet. 62 is the temperature at the lodge this morning at Timberline. And notice Timberline is actually 1 degree warmer than we are in Portland. So that's a sign that the big air mass over us is quite warm. And the number one story for Salem, Portland, and Vancouver today, a return to 90-degree temperatures this afternoon. So right now it's really nice. Take advantage. We have mainly dry weather. Radar is showing some showers up in parts of Jefferson County moving up toward Mount Hood right now. And again, we expect thunderstorms in central and eastern Oregon this afternoon. All right, coast numbers for today. Astoria up to 70 degrees, beautiful sunny day. Most areas statewide will see light breezes once again today. And the hot weather certainly returning to the gorge. Cascade Locks 93, Hood River 96. And this particular model says you folks out in the Dalles, maybe all the way up to 101 this afternoon. Again, not much of a breeze, west winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Here in the valley, at least getting up to 90. This shows McMinnville 94, Salem 93, and Corvallis 91. And we could do this back-to-back days, but at least possibly we get back up to 90 degrees tomorrow. I've got Portland at 92, 91 on the 7-day. And then all this thunderstorm activity we've been talking about, there's at least a chance that somewhere in the valley, maybe somewhere up towards Seattle, Wednesday overnight into Thursday morning, there will be a shower, maybe even a thunderstorm move in. Now, the chance of any one spot getting this rain is not great, but something we're watching out for. Behind that threat, morning clouds on Friday, and that will set the table for another comfortable weekend upcoming with temperatures in the upper 70s to about 80 degrees. Here's Chris.
We keep lucking out with these good weekends. How about that? All right, let's get you out the door. Heads up, actually starting not too long from now, Patton Parkway, the northbound on-ramp from Patton Parkway to I-205 northbound. That's going to be closed from 8 to 3, washed out doing some tree trimming, if you will, on the side of the road. 205 southbound starting to bunch up a little bit there. Also a little bit on the Glen Jackson Bridge. Not bad, but that drive is up a bit. The I-5 drive, obviously, much, much slower right now, puttering along at about 20 miles an hour from basically SR 500. 25 minutes now get you in from Main Street to the Fremont. Quick check over on the west side, inbound Sunset, again, lining up into that bright sunshine at the Sylvan Hill. And the drive in from Hillsborough now solidly 30 minutes. You'll hit slowing between Bethany and Murray, and then again at Sylvan. I-84 now 31 minutes to get you in from Troutdale. Sunrise rolls on after this break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
In Washington, hundreds of new laws are now in effect that will have a big impact on your wallet, your credit score, and soon where you'll enjoy a beer. Madison Wade with our sister station Seattle breaks down the new laws.
There's a change coming to where people can enjoy their favorite craft beer.
When it was first announced, it felt like it was well off in the distance, and here we are on the doorstep.
Ryan Teal with Ghostfish Brewing in Seattle's Soto neighborhood is excited about the new Sip and Stroll bill, HB 1515. The new law makes it easier for businesses like breweries to expand their outdoor spaces into public areas, just in time for the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
I think it's good for small business in general. We're certainly in favor of anything that allows us to create additional controlled spaces to bring people together.
The law expires at the end of 2027, but breweries are hoping that could be extended. Another new law increases the fee for a marriage license by $100.
I think the purpose behind it is meant for good. So that $100 fee is supposed to go to help domestic violence victims and sort of fund things that are in place to help them.
And there's a new law aimed to help some 380,000 Washingtonians who have medical debt.
Medical debt will no longer appear on a credit report. So it will not eliminate, the new law will not eliminate medical debt, but it will remove it.
The American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network says this will help patients continue to get care without going further into debt.
What we find is that folks who carry medical debt, cancer-related medical debt, those individuals are 3 times more likely to be behind on their recommended cancer screenings.
Again, that was Madison Wade reporting for us. Meanwhile, the KGW School Supply Drive starts this Friday. But now is the time to sign up to help us collect this year. You can go to kgw.com/school to sign up your business or your organization to be an official school supply drive collection site. You can help us collect school supplies and send thousands of kids and teachers in the area back to school this year with all the tools they need.
Coming up at 8, KGW Sunrise continues live on KGW Plus with the latest on the mass shooting at a New York City high-rise that left 5 people, including the suspect, dead.
So investigators believe that the suspect was targeting the National Football League's headquarters there in New York. We're going to tell you more about the note that he left before those shootings that suggests he was attacking the NFL. Again, Sunrise live at 8 o'clock continues right here on KGW Plus. In fact, we'll start that 8 o'clock hour with you in 3.5 minutes.